Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Veryn and it's been about 2 months since I've done a video. And oh boy, let's talk about it. So I want to do this video for a couple reasons. One, I'm hoping this will be like a quick rip the band-aid off, get me back in the saddle because I miss it and I miss being here. Two, a really important kind of thing happened where everything that was working in my life, my tarot practice, my journaling practice, my spiritual practice growing, all of these things kind of just fucking stopped. Everything just kind of stopped working. My life literally halted. And I think this is a really important topic, especially if you're like me and you pour your heart and soul into things. So I want to talk about that too. First though, I want to talk about like the regular stuff that contributed to me taking a break. One, and I'm going to mention this quickly, I have a boundary. Please do not ask me for a lot of details or anything about this, because I'm simply not going to share more. I don't feel as safe here on YouTube as I used to because some folks, some family who we've gone non-contact with popped up and it wasn't a good interaction. So that strongly influenced my taking space. There have been many times when I've thought about coming back and my brain has gotten stuck on like, well, they could pop up again. Because the thing with YouTube is you can't really block anyone from your content. You can just kind of hide it so you don't see them. But given the nature of everything, wasn't the best option. Anyways. And this all started like Mercury went retrograde. That huge Mercury retrograde I did a live about. You can check it out. It was intense. It hit me too. And oh boy, was it intense. Oh yes, yes. So that was one mundane layer, which did make a huge impact, and I won't lie, I'm feeling it now. Another layer is, and I've talked about this briefly before, is I struggle with YouTube. I struggle with the whole comparison thing. It gets to me a lot. And I was out of it. It cycles. There'll be times when I'll contact my friends who also do YouTube and I'll be like, oh my God, and I'll be just like ranting about it and we'll be talking and commiserating, and then it gets better. And sometimes YouTube just feels like I'm just screaming into the void. And I don't like that feeling. That feeling doesn't make me feel nice. It makes me feel awful. And if it weren't for all of you who watch and interact with my videos, who leave comments, who join my channel membership, which is still going, but also has had some life literally screeched to a halt. Anyways, we'll get back to that. The point is, I wouldn't still be doing this if not for all of you. I've been doing this since 2019. January 2019, I put out my first video. And it's not easy. It's not easy through those moments when you feel like you're screaming into a void. So I was already having one of those moments. And then you add into the unsafe feelings, and then the next layer of life chaos erupted. So you might notice I'm out in the bigger space again. Okay, so let's quickly, the mundane stuff that has happened. One was my wife deciding to leave her job, and there was multiple things that went into that. So she needed to find a new job. She did. She found a new full-time job, which she loves, and it's fabulous. And she's actually just finishing up work with her previous job this month. So June. I don't know if you're going to see this in June. I hope so. But So there was issues there with so there was issues there with, like, we needed to be able to afford our bills, and so she started job searching, and she got a part-time job first, and then was gonna slowly keep looking, and then she found an even better full-time job that allowed her to get from 2 jobs to 1. So she did that, which then led to me getting a part-time job. So the part-time job she got hired for was like a relief job with no set hours. It's a relief job, and this is where we'll kind of segue into the big crux of it, where everything just kind of ground to a halt in my life. I stopped journaling. I stopped tarot, except for pulling my daily card, because this is so easy, except for like recording my daily pull. I stopped like literally everything. I didn't do full moon or new moon readings. I stopped journaling. I stopped my tarot reading. My altar became a huge mess. My life just kind of stopped. Because I started to realize a few months ago that some of the things I was building in life, the way I was doing things, were built on a foundation of deep grief and pain. Because that's the mental space I was in when I started. When I started, or shortly after I started journaling, I went into the deepest period of grief I've ever been in. That went from 2016 to like this year. I finally don't feel like I'm stuck in this huge pit of fucking grief anymore. I guess it ended like the end of last year is when I really sort of was like, wow, I've moved through my grief. I'm not saying grief ever stops, because it's anyone who's had their first like experience where like their first deep grief journey, we all learn that at some point, that grief doesn't ever stop or go away. You reach a point though, or at least I reached a point where I've accepted what happened. And I don't feel overwhelmed by grief or overwhelmed by emotions. I've processed the emotions. And when I have those moments where there's a wave of grief, because it has happened, I just move through it and it's all good. I'm not drowning in my own fucking sorrows anymore. And that's pretty astounding to say. So that went from like November 2016 to like December 2022 was when I had the big moment where I realized. And then so far this year has been kind of me. Okay, if we're using a water metaphor, November 2016 is when I got plunged into the deep end. Okay. December 2022 is when I stood up. I had made it to the point of the water where I could stand up. And the months since then, I've been walking out of the water. And I've been out of the water now. And April was kind of the point where it was like, okay, I'm out of the water. I'm starting to dry off. I've left some toys back in the water, but in order to go and get them, I'm going to get wet again. And do I really want to go back there when I've lived there for that long? No, thank you. I'm trying to put this into the words the best way I can, but it came with a really big noticeable thing. So I've talked about it before on this channel, but in 2016 I started a series of trigger warning. This is like intense stuff. I'll probably have put a trigger warning at the beginning of this video. I had an ectopic pregnancy and then a series of miscarriages, and in the midst of that, there was my wife and I almost split in 2019, and then there's just been, since 2019, there's just been dealing with all of that. And then you throw in a pandemic. You just, sprinkle a pandemic into the middle. I do not say in jest that this period of my life, I literally faced my sanity. I looked head on at my sanity and how I was doing, because I was not doing well. And I really stopped fucking living in that period of time. Oh, it was... So November 2016 this happened, and then during the period when things were really hard and intense, Christmas 2016, a Christmas song came on, and this song triggered me really badly, and I ended up just as a ball on the floor crying. And ever since then, I wouldn't and couldn't listen to this song. The song just hit the mom part of my heart, which was breaking and aching. And I may be much better, but it is still hard to think about this stuff. It always will be, and that's okay. So last year in Christmas, we were putting up our Christmas tree right here in this big room. Our Christmas tree was like right there. So we were putting up our Christmas tree, and all of a sudden I'm singing along to a song. I'm singing along to the playlist, listening to music, and all of a sudden I noticed Zariah's standing up, and that's my wife, and she's staring at me, and I looked at her and I was like, what? And she's like, don't you want me to change the song? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I stopped and listened for a second, and I realized it was that song. Without even realizing it, I had just started singing along to this song that had triggered me so badly that I couldn't even think about it without bursting into tears. And I would go incoherent. Like, I've never had such a strong, bad trigger. Like, the first time it came on, and Zariah would, like, I yelled at her. And oh, its triggers are rough, yo. But here I was, singing along to this song. Like... 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 6 years later. Wow. 6 years? Holy shit. And it was at that moment I realized that I was done the majority of my grief. I was done the active part of grieving. So it's like I'm at this part where it's passive. It happens. Like, talking to you about this song, I felt the emotions. I felt the welling, and like I might cry, but I just breathe and I know I'm going to get through it, and it's all good, and it doesn't scare me. I don't feel like I'm getting pulled under. There's a little bit of fear that I will get pulled under, because that's what happened for so long. Like 6 years. 6 years. And so a lot of astrological stuff happened, and then I come to April and everything just kind of stopped working. And I realized it was because all of these practices I had built, all of these tools I had found through this very deep place of grief, when I was in immense pain and extreme grief, and daily felt like I was just drowning in it. I built my relationship with tarot through that. I built my journaling practice. I started my journaling practice a few months before, but I built my journaling practice through that. Every single part of my life for the past almost 6 years, has been me reacting and responding to this extremely deep grief and pain. And so when the extremely deep grief and pain ended, and when I had climbed out of the water and dried off, suddenly my life just didn't work anymore. Like at all. I also too realized how much I miss being around people, and how much I love it here in the online world, and it has kept me going, and that too, here, my work here too, has all been in response to the time when I felt the most alone. I felt completely alone, and I found the online community, and I realized I don't want to just live my life online. And that's what I felt like for a little bit now, for a while. Because most of what I would do would be here online, making videos for YouTube, making videos for my channel members, working with my clients. And I'm not introverted. I have some, because of my autism, because I'm autistic, I do get burnt out, and I do struggle with energy around people. I wasn't doing much. And one of the first things I did in response to when things stopped working was I started going outside. Because all I wanted at first was just to live. I wanted to live in person. I wanted an in-person life, not just an online life. And my family, we're highly tech using people. My son loves tech. My wife loves tech. We spend a lot of time just sitting and doing techie things, and I haven't been happy with that either. And there's been a lot of just so very much. And I don't know where I left off, and I'm getting lots of messages and stuff, and it's so confusing. This whole thing has been so confusing. So I guess where I'm at now is trying to find the new ways in which these things that I love, these tools that I have, work in my life. Because astrology, tarot, which I also stopped doing astrology, astrology, tarot, journaling, they're all very much tools, and they're I love them. The way I was using said tools doesn't work anymore. And things have been gotten a lot better. I was feeling also really incredibly just useless, because even though I couldn't get myself to make YouTube videos, and that was hard, and I was struggling with like, and I do struggle with like knowing what to offer, and that's on YouTube or on in my channel membership. And also to like, I just don't know what you, I don't know what y'all benefit from, what y'all really enjoy. The algorithms are weird. I'm not gonna be the YouTuber who does a bunch of like tarot haul content. That's not good for me, and I don't enjoy filming that, and I'm not gonna be the YouTuber who does setup videos where it shows her sped up talking about what she's doing, because I fucking hate setting up like that. I always seem to not quite fit. And the same is true here in YouTube. And I don't know where I fit or what I fit. And I'm not going to be the person who makes light and fluffy videos, because that's not who I am. I am the person who gets in trouble for giving too much information. I like to talk about the hard stuff. I live in discomfort all the time. It's my happy place. I find so much beauty and growth and experience in digging through the hard shit. So there's a lot of ways in which I don't know what to offer. I don't know what to offer, and I keep trying to offer things that like, I offer things that are genuine to me and they don't seem to do well. Or I offer things that are they're not disingenuine, but they're not like, they're fun little things, and they do better, but I just have no inspiration to do them. So everything's just kind of like a little off kilter, a little askew. And I don't know. I don't know how to line things up. I don't know what my new life looks like, because I'm still building it. I know it still has my wife, it still has my son, it still has tarot, it still has astrology, it still has journaling, and those things have slowly started to pick back up. But I don't know otherwise what it looks like. It's funny because I knew I was coming into a 9th house perfection year, the house of spirit and study, and all of these things, and I was so excited. I did not expect a crisis. I wasn't expecting the struggle, which is really quite stupid of me. Like, I was expecting my last 9th house perfection year was just like feeling the power, and I wasn't expecting this year to be a struggle. I wasn't expecting that I would struggle with my spirituality. I was just like, I'm just gonna be super spiritual, I'm gonna read all sorts of books, and it's gonna be fabulous. And here I am struggling. I don't know what this new life looks like. I know it needs more balance and more boundaries. I know I need to live more in person and less online, because I was putting like all of my energy and effort into living online. And I know I've started to step in the right direction. I've got my new job, which I love. I wish it was more shifts, but I love it. It feels so good to be out, and then when I'm home it feels good. I've got life, I've got plans with friends. I'm living up in here, and it feels so good to say. Gosh, that death card year, that's what I'm in right now, because for a while in that hard period, there's this moment where I had like an intrusive thought, and I was feeling panicked, and I thought to myself, I can't die yet, I haven't lived. And that scared the shit out of me. And that was a couple years ago. And since then, I've been trying to learn how to live again. And let me tell you, I'm figuring it out. I'm living. I feel like I'm living. I feel like I'm alive. I feel like I have a life. And it feels fantastic. Still don't know what my journaling's going to be like. So I got chaotic and I bought a new journal because I felt like I just needed a fresh start. So I have this and I've been using it. And it's been going nice. And then just yesterday I started to feel inspired, so I started my summer journal. Because I missed my big journal. And so I've been working on getting that all ready. Here's my sketch for July. I did 2 different readings yesterday. I'm going to do a reading today. I'm feeling good. We've moved my office back out here, so because we had one of the things on Saturday, the Saturday that passed, was the best weekend. Oh, we had so much fun, because that was the other thing. People would be like, hey, Veryn, what's up? And I felt like I had nothing to talk about. Which, I hate that feeling. Have you met me? I hate that feeling. I felt like I had nothing to talk about because I didn't feel like I was in crises, and I didn't feel like there was all of this stuff happening in that kind of way. But there was nothing exciting happening. This weekend, there was a potluck that we went to, an appreciation potluck, and we went to it, and it had a dance party aspect. I danced for an hour and a half straight. I've never had so much fun dancing in my life. And afterwards I was like, this is bullshit. I don't have any room in my house. So we ended up making it so we don't have a living room. We have a witchy workspace room with a huge amount of floor space so we can dance. And then we have our TV and our bed couch combo in the little room. And we love it. It's so cozy in there. I also have a bedroom door I can shut at night, and it's fabulous. I am on an adventure of trying to figure out my life. Figure out what it looks like now that I'm starting to thrive. I don't feel like I'm in survival mode anymore. I feel alive, and it feels wonderful. We don't have to worry about being able to afford life. It feels really good. And it's almost summer, which means I get to have more time with my babes, my little babe, my kid. I'm so excited. He's very excited. And I'm just kind of on an adventure of figuring out life. So what I figured out is that I can't live only online. I need in-person life too. And that's what I've been working on. So I don't know what that means for online, for the public channel here. I want to be back. I want to do a video a week, and that should be easy to do because I've got like my job isn't so much so that I'm working every week. Like I had one shift scheduled this week and I had to miss it because my kiddo was home yesterday. I have one shift next week. So, and I could get called in any day, but it's not, like, I haven't been called in once yet. So my job is very mellow. I like knowing that I have it. I want to grow my income and grow my work more. I'm not sure in what way. I know I want to connect more with spirituality. And I'm going through a whole crisis with that too. I don't know. I'm thinking I'd like to do more sit-down talking videos because I really do love them. I don't know. But I want to be back. And I was ready. Oh my gosh, y'all. I was ready last week to be back. I was ready on Monday. I had a shift on Monday, and then I had 2 days off, and then I had more shifts. And I was like, I had video ideas. I knew I was going to film this video, and I was like, yes, I'm going to do it. I came home Monday, and my place was fucking flooded. Anyways, I suppose that's enough of a ramble. I don't really want to talk anymore, so I'm just going to go. If you watched this, hi. I missed you all. I hope you'll say hi in the comments and whatnot. Yeah. I think it's good to be back, I think. If you have any idea of random things you want to hear me just rattle on with a face forward video, then let me know in the comments down below. If you have any thoughts of I've asked y'all before in the community tab of what kind of content I do that you really like. And a lot of you will say, well, it's I came for this, but I stay for this. Or seriously, if you have content of mine that is your favorite, then let me know. That information is helpful. I think there's this narrative sometimes in the virtual world where people will just be like, I just want to be supportive and I just watch because I'm supporting your things and stuff. That's great. I appreciate the support. I'm autistic. If you want me to do something, you have to directly fucking tell me, and I will either say, yes, I can deliver on that, or no, I cannot. However, I can't provide content that y'all like if I don't know what content y'all like and want to see. So if you have content from me that you would like to see more of or what have you, let me know. Seriously, please, I'm begging. Comments. Yeah, I'm going to let you go here, and hopefully I will see you again very soon. Lots of love. Bye.